أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين محمد وأهل بيت الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما الإمام المنتظر الحجة الثاني عشر روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء. أما بعد فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد والفرقان الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي زدني علما صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, hope everyone is well, and just give me 1 second and inshallah we will start. Right, can everyone hear me loud and clearly now?
Yes, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Now, continuing from where we left off last week, we started about verbs, doers, and objects. And I mentioned last week there are 8 nouns which will come as objects, and they are named differently. So last week what we did maf'ul bihi, direct object, and then I explained maf'ul li ajlihi. So today I'm going to go in more detail for each of these concepts. So can I request Sister Shabnam? Would you be able to? Assalamu alaikum, Sister Shabnam. Can you come on the mic, please?
Assalamu alaikum. Yes. Wa alaikum.
So can you see it on the screen? Yes.
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's read this through. So the first thing we're going to go for is maf'ul mutlaq. Sorry, maf'ul bihi. So maf'ul bihi in English called a direct object. So whenever you have a verb, you will have a doer and then the object. So this is going to explain. Go ahead.
Okay. What is maf'ul bihi? Maf'ul bihi. It is a noun that indicates that the action of a verb has occurred upon it and it does not change the structure of the verb. For example,
what is bara?
Bara, yeah. Baral talmizu qalman. The student sharpened a pencil.
So here,
in this sentence,
just 2 seconds, sister. Now the word talmizu here is the actual doer of the sharpening. Qalaman is the
sharpened thing.
The thing which has been sharpened.
Object.
Yes. Now, this itself, now I've mentioned something here, and it does not change the structure of the verb. I'll explain this. Now, qalaman is the object. So this will never change the verb itself. What changes the verb?
What changes the verb? It's
the doer. The doer. Yes. So if the doer was a female, then the verb will not be bara, but with a female version itself.
Yes.
Is that clear? That's what it means by that. It does not. So the direct object never changes the verb itself. So it's only the doer which changes the
verb.
Correct. Is that clear for everyone? So,
can I ask you, so isn't it sometimes that we have a verb, but it can apply for male and female?
Yes.
There are times,
Yeah, there are verbs in the Arabic language, like you could use the masculine and the feminine with it as well.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. But we're talking generically, or as a universal ruling. Normally, it's the verb. It's a doer which changes the verb. For example, if it's female, and it was one female, we will say barat at-tilmidhatu. And there are certain nouns or doers which, if they come, they can either come masculine or feminine. We will do this later, not yet, inshallah. But yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Sister Shabnam.
In this sentence, pencil is al-maf'ul bihi because the action of sharpening upon this noun, and it does not change the structure of the verb. However, if the word of the verb is changed, so the noun would be nabil file, and it would be given a dhamma, which is the nominated case.
Correct. Okay, let me explain this now. Now, do you remember I spoke about last week or the week before about verbs? Some verbs require an object and some verbs don't require an object. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
For example, if I said Daraba Aliyun Zaidan. Daraba Aliyun Zaidan. That's the example. I'm going to give you one. Ali hit Zaid. Ali hit Zaid. So this is a transitive noun. A transitive noun, and we talk about verb. Yes, verb. It requires a object to complete its meaning. That's a transitive verb. And intransitive verb is that verb which completes its meaning with a doer. It does not require a object. For example, I gave the example dhahaba. Dhahaba aliyun. Ali went. Yeah, Ali went. Yeah, Ali went. Or for example,
Daraba. I heard Daraba. Sorry.
Dhahaba.
Okay.
Yeah, Dhahaba Ali went. Or for example, Ja'a. If I say Ja'a Zaidun, Zaid came. Zaid came. Another example. If I said now, I mentioned something else. I think I can't remember whether it was yourself or someone. Now, even Ghadaba Zaidun. Ghadab means angry.
Angered.
Zaid became angry. So when a verb is giving the meaning of becoming, or when a verb is indicating upon a change of state, like Ghadaba, he became angry. Or for example, if I said Fariha Zaidun, Zaid became happy. Fariha, okay? Now, if there's a change of state, or these are the indication or tips of knowing whether the verb requires an object or not. So normally, when it is indicating upon the meaning of becoming, or a change of state, or indicating upon color, that he became red, he became pale, these verbs are normally intransitive. They don't require any object. Okay, is that clear?
Actually, Sheikh, we had that question in one of our quizzes about transitive verb.
What for your mafahim?
For the course that we're doing.
Okay.
The TRN course.
Okay.
Yeah, so exactly that way, the transitive, 3 answers had an object and 1 didn't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And now there's something I want to explain additional. Now I have, I'll explain this now. Inshallah, I'll make it easy as possible. Now,
so Sheikh, you're saying that if it's indicating a change of state or color, you do not need an object, right?
That's right. That's right. That is correct. That would be an intransitive verb. And now, let me explain something else now. Now, if you look over here, qatala al-harisu al-lissa qatlan. The watchman murdered the thief a murder, meaning he wiped him out, he killed him. Now, who is doing the action? The watchman, the haris, the actual security guard. He killed who?
The thief.
The thief. Now, the thief itself in this situation, in this sentence, where is it going? Sorry. So the thief here, where's he gone? The thief here is coming as an object, correct?
Right.
Do you agree? Not the watchman murdered who?
The thief.
Exactly. So the word al-lissa should have a fatha. Should have a fatha. Remember this point. So because it's object, yes, all objects of a verb are in the nominative case, an accusative case should have a fatha or fatha tanween. Yes.
Yes.
So qatal al-haris al-lissa. Now, sometimes in English as well, what we do, we mention that the victim has been hurt or murdered, but we don't mention who did the action. For example, if I said the thief has been murdered, the thief has been murdered, are we mentioning who is doing the action? The thief has been murdered. Who murdered the thief? Do we know?
We don't know.
Exactly. So in English and in Arabic, this is called the passive tense. Passive tense. In Arabic, it's called, I'll write this down. It's called al-fi'l. Let me just write this down. Al-fi'l al-majhul. I'll just write it in the group. Al-fi'l al-majhul. So you may remember, the verb sheets which I sent yourself a couple of months ago when you was doing the past tense, present tense. It had fi'l ma'loom and fi'l al-majhul. I don't know. Let me show you. Let me show you yourself. Right.
So fi'l ma'loom would be a normal
verb, exactly.
Verb,
With the
right?
doer, yeah, exactly. Fi'l ma'loom is when the doer is known. Majhul, like it has been
killed.
written.
or
It has been written.
yeah.
Yeah. Or for
Written.
example, dhuriba, he has been.
Hit.
So dharaba means he hit, and dhuriba means he has been hit.
Hit.
For example, that we know the victim is being hurt or hit, but who did the action we don't know. Okay. Now, now the pattern. Okay, let me just write this down in the group so that you have this pattern. This is really useful. Now, as I've explained here, that if when the doer of the verb is not mentioned, and only the victim has been mentioned, that verb is called the passive tense, and it's called fi'l al-majhul. Fi'l al-majhul. Yeah, correct. And
So it'll be Kutila Haris.
you've one step ahead of me. That's correct. Yeah, the pattern for making the passive past tense is fu'ila. Fu'ila.
Fu'ila. Okay.
Okay, fu'ila is the pattern. So that's the reason why. Let me show you now this template now. So when we have dhuriba, it means he had. Dharaba means he hit. Dhuriba, he has been
hit.
Excellent. And for example, Fataha means he opened, and futiha, it has been
Open.
open. So it means that the door, or futiha al-babu, the door is opened. The door has been opened. Who opened the door? Was it me or was it the students? We don't know. It could be a genuine reason, we don't know, or maybe we just don't want to mention who did the actual action of opening it itself. Is this clear so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Hassan Ali?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you as well?
Alhamdulillah.
You didn't seem well. You seem a bit tired today.
No, I can't absorb what is going on.
Okay.
But I'm not going to quit. I'm going to sit and try and learn.
Okay, come on the mic. Let's do it together. So when we say fataha,
Yes.
so we say fataha, he opened. So when we say he opened, that is the person who's doing the action of opening itself. He. So that is a doer. And in English as well. So if I said Agha Hassan Ali opened the door of the masjid. So the person who's then doing the action of opening of the door is Agha Hassan Ali. But sometimes we don't want to mention Agha Hassan Ali's opening the door. We want to keep you secret, that you are a secret treasure for the masjid in opening the doors for the mosque for everyone. So we can sometimes say Futiha Babul Masjidi. The door of the masjid has been opened. Has been opened. So what's happening here? The action upon whom, which has been done, which is the door, that has been mentioned, but who opened the door hasn't been mentioned at all.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Is that clear now, or do you want me to give you another example?
No, that is okay.
So that's now to give a meaning of the past. Now, because we're talking about the past tense, now if we want to make the meaning of being, we'll make it on the pattern of fu'ila. Fu'ila, pattern of passive tense is fu'ila. So for example, I'll give you an example. Kutiba alaykumus sayamu. Kutiba. We say this in every year, Shahr Ramadan. Kutiba. Kataba means he wrote, and kutiba, it has been
Written.
It has been prescribed, or it has been written. So it could have been Katab Allahu, Allah has, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse made himself passive. He has not mentioned his name there, but said that fasting has become obligatory upon you.
Right.
Now, let me continue. Now, here, Qatala al-Harisu al-Lissa. So here, al-Harisa is the doer of the killing, and al-Lissa is the object. Now, step number one. Now, if you could write this down, and I'll send a handout on this as well. Step number one. Now, if you want to make the passive tense verb, you will drop the doer. You will drop the doer. In the example, Qatala al-Harisu al-Lissa. So you'll remove the word, the security guard. Al-Harisa, it will be removed because we don't want to mention him. Correct? That's step number one. Step number two. The object is what? The thief. Al-Lissa. Step number two, Al-Lissa will take the place of the watchman, Al-Haris. And the harakat of Al-Haris, which was al-dhamma, will be transferred to the thief. Therefore, Al-Lissa, which had a fatha, now will have a
Zamma.
excellent. That was step number 2. Step number 3. Step number 3. We will change the verb pattern for the past tense to fu'ila, as I wrote in the WhatsApp group. Therefore, and I'll write the sentence, what will become. So the sentence now will become qutila al-lissu. Qutila al-lissu. And the translation will be al-liss. The translation will be the thief has been
Murdered.
murdered. The thief has been murdered. The word al-lissu, in this sentence now will be called Na'ibul Fa'il. I'll write this, it's on the screen as well, and I'll explain this. Na'ibul Fa'il.
Can you repeat that sentence, please?
Just one second.
Sheikh, where are you writing? I don't see it.
I'm writing on the WhatsApp, the representative of the.
It's not coming through.
It's not coming.
I'm sending it now.
Oh, okay.
So the last sentence I said, the word al-lissu in this sentence, now will be called Na'ibul Fa'il. Na'ibul Fa'il means, in brackets, means substituting the doer.
So this is when it's a passive verb?
Excellent. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the reason why it's called Na'ibul Fa'il, because it is taking the harakat of the doer.
Okay.
So here, I think in the chat, it should be the thief has been murdered, right?
Yeah, there's a word missing.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. No,
Sorry.
I understood now. It's fine.
Sorry.
Don't worry.
No,
Don't worry.
I need to do it because everyone be watching afterwards. The thief, yeah, the thief has been murdered. Yeah. Thank you. Didn't realize the thief has been murdered. So what happened is that now the al-lissu, which had a fatha, gets a dhamma and takes the place of the fa'il, and that's the reason why it's called Na'ibul Fa'il. Na'ibul Fa'il, because we have removed the word security guard and replaced it with the person who was the object, now as Na'ibul Fa'il. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that sister?
Yes, it's me.
Yes. How do you know I was looking for sister Dioji?
No, I'm following your lessons, but I missed quite a bit, right? I was away for 8 weeks, but
Right.
I think I'll pick it up, inshallah.
Okay, Mash. Now I was wondering, I thought that's like says Hinadoji, and I wasn't too sure, and I thought maybe I'm just having hallucinations or something.
Apparently, Sheikh, she was here last week, she said, and I thought I told her we didn't see you, and
No.
she said she went through the whole class with us.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back, Sarah Banubai.
Thank you.
So yeah, so this is called so that's the reason why there are many verses in the Quran where it comes qutila, it comes qila, it comes dhuriba, fu'ila. So whenever you see fu'ila, fu'ila is the part. Now, as we're passing by, the present tense for passive is the yuf'alu. I'll give you that pattern, and just inshallah, when we do the passive in more detail, I will explain this even further. So in the Quran,
sorry, Sheikh.
Yeah,
go ahead. Alhamdulillah, we've come across this in our course, so it's making more sense.
Okay, that's present tense. How did you? What was you? What was
when we like when we had any ayats and we had the dhamma, we were we realized that there's something not right here. It doesn't have the fatha, and so we saw the indication as a passive, and then if the addition was in the front, then it would be a present. It would be, if it would be after, then we knew it would be a past.
Yeah. So
like yaf'alu and fu'ila.
Yeah. So I'm keeping it basic. I'm not going into the complete details, but I'm just passing by and teaching this as passing by. Nothing. I'm not teaching this lesson yet. Inshallah, I'll teach it when it comes appropriate.
Yes, inshallah.
So this is what it means by here, that in this sentence, pencil is the maf'ul bihi, because the action of sharpening sharpening upon this noun, and it does not change the structure of the verb. However, see this now? However, if the word of the verb is changed, so the noun would be naibul fa'il and would be given dhamma. Now, let me give you the example. If the word alisso, is it masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Now, if the word alisso had a time marbuta alissata, for example, or if we change it, let's change it to imra'atan. Qatala al-harisu imra'atan.
Okay.
Now, because imra'atan is feminine, yes?
Right.
And when imra'atan is changed to passive tense, that the lady has been
murdered,
we will have to change the verb as well now.
Right.
So let me write this example down and I'll explain to you. Yeah, I'm just write this down. So I'll write both examples, and so that you understand this. It's quite easy. Let me just write this example.
Thank you.
And we watch the security guard killed, murdered actually, a lady. So it will become, I'll write this down and then I'll explain. If you look at this example, Hassan Ali, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Let's look at this now. If you could kindly open your WhatsApp and I'll explain to yourself, and inshallah, I hope this makes sense. Now, can you see the word qatala al-harisu imra'atan?
Yes.
So al-harisu here is the fa'il, meaning the person who is doing the action of murdering a poor lady, imra'atan. So imra'atan is the object because it has a fatha tanween. Now, sometimes we want to mention the now, if we wanted to make it passive tense, we will say in English, a woman has been murdered. Now, as I explained to yourself, is that we will need to remove, to make it passive, we will need to remove the word al-harisu. So we remove the word al-harisu. And then step number 2, the word imra'atan will take the place of, what would the word imra'atan take the place of?
Naibul file.
No, yeah, it would be naibul fa'il, but imra'atan, which has a fatha tanween, whose place would it take? The security guards.
Right.
Agha,
Yes.
it will take the place of the security guard. So it will take the place of the security guard. The security guard had a dhamma. So this word now should get, because it's indefinite, this will get a dhamma tanween. Will get a dhamma tanween. So be qutilat. Sorry, and because the word, sorry, imra'atun becomes imra'atun. Now, imra'atun, is it masculine or feminine? It's female.
Yes.
Right.
So we will need to change qatala to a feminine form and also conjugate on the pattern of fu'ila. So it becomes kuti. Agha, kuti.
Qutilat.
Qutilat imra'atun. So it becomes qutilat imra'atun. A woman has been
Murdered.
murdered. Now, what I'll do, inshallah, next week, I will cover this in more detail and give you more examples from the Quran as well. Okay, because this is quite important, because I don't want to leave something ambiguous and not clarify. So, inshallah, I will explain this in more detail next week. But do you understand what's happening so far, personally?
Yes, sir.
Sister Huma, how about yourself? Or
Yes.
is it becoming overwhelming?
No, you're changing the present tense to a passive tense.
Yeah, the past tense to passive tense.
Right.
Yeah.
So past tense to passive tense, in
Yeah.
that you have to change the form of the sentence.
Exactly.
You remove the doer, and instead of the doer, the object you're putting, and it has to replace the kasra of that.
Exactly. The dhamma, the fatha, the fatha tanween is replaced with a dhamma because it's replacing the doer itself. Excellent. Everyone else with me? Sister Roshan, you're a bit quiet.
No, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, that's good. I'll give you much more examples, and what I'm going to do is that last night in the morning, so inshallah, let me get through this few lessons, and what I'm going to do as well is that I'll be starting to this is something I haven't mentioned. You're the first group I'm going to mention because you're on book 3. I'm going to then start Surah Al-Hamd and Surah Baqarah with yourselves and go through the sentences, go through the verb conjugations, and go through the translation. So that's the first step. Second step will be, I'll be then going through the tafsir of Surah Baqarah in Arabic. Not yet. The fast track, inshallah, because they're slightly ahead of you, about 6 months, they will be doing that first, and then inshallah gradually you will get to that level as well. Okay, so this is something which I've been thinking of what to do and how to get to that level. So that is the formation of which I'm going how to teach and get you more familiar with the Quran. First is to go through the ayats of the Quran, go through the different verb conjugations, and then go through the tafsir as well. But for me to get you to the level of tafsir, I just need to teach you a bit more grammar for yourself to be ready. I don't know if you watched the fast track group. Last week, we did start a different text, trying to read about Ghadir in Arabic to give practice of reading Arabic text.
Without the harakat?
Yes. No, it had the harakat. But I was explaining why these words have these harakat.
Okay.
So once you've got practice reading text with harakat, then inshallah we will practice without reading the text without any harakat, inshallah. So
Sheikh, I think they are in, sorry.
Yeah, carry on.
Sheikh, but they have reached Darsul the fourth or fifth
Yeah.
dars.
Yeah, they have, but there's a lot of work we have done behind the scene or other additional handouts and so forth with them. So that's the reason why, even though they reached lesson 4, there's a lot of other work we have done with them.
Okay.
So inshallah, with yourselves, again, I'm doing it in a different, complete fashion. Sister Humazen, for example, these things for her, I haven't covered with them. So what I'm doing with yourselves, I'm teaching in a different structure again, and to see how you lot cope with this, and it's to see what is the best way of teaching it. Of course, this is a fantastic way I'm doing because I know this will make you much more solid in understanding things. So it's trying to, it's sometimes you go for the entrance, sometimes you go for the back door. So it's both ways, and it's trying to see which one you prefer and how you find it as well. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay.
Okay, now, so this is what it means. However, if the word of the verb is changed, so the noun would be naibul file. So whenever the verb qatala is being changed, that means that it's becoming a naibul file. Like example of kutilat, like qatala al harisu imra'atan becomes kutilat imra'atun. That's what it means. And then it says naibul, and it would be given a dhamma, the nominative case. So the harakat of the fa'il is then transferred to the object. Excellent. Excellent.
Sheikh, naibul file, what do you call it in English? Because other.
So in English, you call the substitution of the doer.
Okay, substitution of the doer.
Naib, like naibul imam, naib means representative or substitute.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, is this clear so far, or do you want me to go in more detailed? I'm more than happy to teach you about naibul file and all of this concept today if you want me to do that. If you are happy, I'll give me 1 minute. I just need to pick my book up from downstairs, and I'll go in more detail on this if you want me to do it today.
Well, if we're on it, might as well finish it.
Okay, give me 1 second then. Let me just bring my book from downstairs.
Whatever works for
No,
you.
that's fine. 1 second. 1 second.
Sheikh, you said that we're just going to look at it from the top. Do we have to go so much deep into this? Because I don't know. I think it'll become too confusing for me. I don't know about the rest.
No, the reason why naibul file is quite handy to know, because a lot of the ayat of the Quran are coming in the passive form. So I just want to give you a few examples. That's the reason what I want to do. Of course, I'm not going to teach you in depth more than what I'm only going to teach you what is required. Nothing more than that.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me send you some. I'm going to send you a screenshot now, and then I'll go through these ayats with you. I'll send it as a PDF after this lesson, but okay, let me go for. Can everyone see the? Can everyone see the actual message which I sent?
Yes.
It says here now in this exercise, first exercise, it says exercise 17. Now in this exercise, what we need to do is that we need to appoint which is fi'l majhul and what is the naibul file. Let me read the ayats for you. It says in the hadith, bil ilmi yuta'ullahu wa yu'badu. So bil ilmi. Now this hadith from Rasulullah, it says bil ilmi yuta'u Allahu wa yu'badu. By knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be worshipped. So the word yuta'u is present tense and it's passive.
Which means to obtain?
No, to obey.
To obey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or be ata yuti will be obeyed. And yu'badu, he would be worshipped. So I'm going to write these verbs down for you.
Okay.
Yuti'u, and inshallah, ata'a. And I'll send you the verb conjugation on this as well. So yuti'u, ata'a, yuti'u, and this is yuta'u. This is a weak letter verb. That's the reason why it may look abnormal for yourself. Ata'a, yuti'u. So ata'a is past tense, yuti'u is present tense, yuta'u is the present passive tense. And it says bil ilmi yuta'ullahu. By knowledge, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being worshipped, being obeyed. Yu'badu again. The past tense is abada.
This one is okay.
Abada. Abada, that is he worshipped. Present tense is ya'budu. Like iyaka.
Na'budu.
Ahsanti.
This is a normal verb. It's not a weak verb, right?
Yes, that's right. So I'm going to write this down, and inshallah I'll send you the conjugations, because if I could get through the conjugations, then yu'badu. Yu'badu is the present tense passive. Abada, he worshipped. So, bil ilmi yuta'u Allah wa yu'badu. Then it says, Agha, can you read this, please?
Yes.
What does it say after that?
What do you want me to read?
But after it says, if you enlarge the screen, pinch it, it says, bil ilmi yuta'u Allah wa yu'badu wa bil ilmi.
يُعْرَفُ
Yeah, yu'rafu Allahu.
ويوحد.
Yeah, yuwahidu. And it's you. Okay, let me explain this now. Bil ilmi, what does this mean? Anyone? Does anyone know?
With knowledge.
By knowledge,
Mhm.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recognized.
Okay.
Arafa,
In relation to knowledge, right?
yes. So he is acknowledged. Arafa, so the verb past tense is arafa. So one arafa, present tense is
Ya'rifu.
Yeah.
ya'rifu. Ahsanti. Arafa ya'rifu. Okay, where is it gone? This one's. So what the reason why I'm giving you the past present, because these verbs come in the Quran. If I teach you the verb conjugations, it will become much more easier for you when you read the Quran, and you will get yourself more familiar with the Quranic verbs. Yu'rafu. He is being acknowledged or recognized.
Recognized. Mhm.
Okay. And then we have wayuwahhadu. So this word comes from the word tawheed.
Ahad.
Tawheed, wahid.
Ahad.
Wahada yuwahidu tawheed. So the next word, yuwahhadu. So he is being wahada yuwahidu.
This is a weak verb, right? With the
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, because of the waw there. Now, wahada yuwahidu is to his oneness is being acknowledged. Wahada yuwahidu. So verb conjugations, I am going to do this with you as well. So if I'm able to do all of these things, you will see a lot of difference when you read the Quran, and that's guaranteed. So the reason why I'm taking the extra time in going through the ayat, giving the past, present tense, once you become familiar with these verb patterns and conjugations, the Quran starts making more sense for you, inshallah. Have you done these ones, Sister Tahira?
Yes.
These verb conjugations. Okay, yuwahhadu. He is being recognized, his oneness is being recognized. So wahada yuwahidu. Wahada yuwahidu. And here is yuwahadu, present tense, passive. And then it says wabihi tusalu al-arhamu. So bihi is referring back to knowledge, and by knowledge, the verb wasala yasilu. So this verb wasala means to do. Wasala yasilu comes in the meaning of doing alms to your near kins. You know the word sila rahim?
Help, right?
Yeah, well, to do alms, or do charity, or do sadaqah, alms, you could say, to your loved ones or relatives. Wasala yase. Wasala yasilu, and this is present tense. Yusalu is a present tense passive. Yusalu, doing charity to kins or relatives.
I'm sorry, why is it two salu here?
Okay, what's happened is that the wow, the root word is wasala, and
Right.
in the present tense, the wow has been dropped. And when we do the passive, present passive, the wow reappears again, and it becomes yusalu.
No, but in the hadith, it is two salu.
Yes, the reason why it's tusal, it's because the word good question. The word arham, which is arham, which means relatives, is feminine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the word al-arhamu is feminine. So because it's feminine, that's the reason why it's coming tusalo. Thank you for the observation. So can you see tusalo al-arhamu? So al-arhamu is naibul fa'il, and because it's naibul fa'il, is the verb will have to follow the same gender as the naibul fa'il, which is feminine. So it becomes tusalo al-arhamu. Sister Huma, why is it yu'raful halalu wal yu'raful halalu wal haram? What does that mean? Sister Huma?
Yeah. First, I have to find the meaning of the yu'rafu.
It means the same meaning as we did it before. Recognize.
Recognize between halal and haram.
Exactly. By knowledge, halal and haram is being recognized. Correct. And finally, wal ilmu.
And recognize between.
No, there's a new sentence now. Wal ilmu.
Wal ilmu. And
Amam al aqli.
Imam al aqli, using your.
So you know, it's wal ilmu amam. It means that intellect, knowledge is before intellect.
Okay.
That's what it's
brain. Aqli.
Yeah. Aql here comes with the meaning of rationality.
Okay.
Brilliant. One more hadith and then I'm going to end this. No, the hadith, other hadith is so beautiful. That's the reason why I'm reading this hadith.
When we learn, I think we'll start enjoying it. But for now, each word is new.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, what I'm going to do, I will send this hadith.
Just saying, I mean, it's not that I'm saying for me. Each word is new, so we're just learning. But
yeah.
I enjoyed, and we will probably enjoy in depth too when once we know everything.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this is similar to what's happened to before. So these verbs which I've given you, Sister Roshan.
Yeah, I'm here.
Now the hadith which we did of Rasulul Akramu, can you start from the beginning to the end and let's go through them and translate and see how we're going.
Okay, sorry, where am I starting?
From bil ilmi yuta'ullahu.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bil ilmi yuta'ullahu wa yu'tadu
وَيُؤْبَدُ.
wa yu'badu. So it's really very faint. I'm having
Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it a proper copy after the lesson of this hadith.
Thank you. Wa yu'badu wa bil ilmi yu'rafu wa bil ilmi yu'rafu Allahu
Yep.
wa yuwahidu wa bihi tusalul arhamu wa yu'raful halalu wal haramu.
Translation, please.
Okay. With knowledge, you obey Allah.
Allah would be obeyed.
Allah will passive, of course. Allah will be obeyed. And
وَيُؤْبَدُ.
وَيُعْبَدُ,
He would be.
and he would be worshipped.
Correct.
With knowledge,
Yep.
yu'rafu Allahu, so Allah will be known.
Correct.
وَيُوَحِّدُ, and
وَيُوَحَّدُ.
وَيُوَحَّدُ, and his oneness or oneness is recognized or
Testified.
has testified. وَبِهِ تُوصَلُ,
Yep.
and with it, I'm sorry, I was a little bit stuck with tusalu.
So tusalu means to do charity with knowledge. Al-arham means relatives. The relatives will be given charity.
Oh, okay. So tusalu is given, right?
Yeah, tusalu means to give charity. The word rahim means womb. Al-arham, because relatives, brothers and sisters, come from the same mother. So that's the reason rahim, which means the womb, is used for relatives. So by knowledge, your relatives will be given charity because you will know the importance of giving charity to your relatives.
Right. Okay. Okay. وَيُعْرَفُ الْحَلَالُ وَالْحَرَامُ, and the halal and the haram will be known.
Correct.
وَالْإِلْمُ أَمَامُ الْأَقْلِ,
Yep.
and knowledge is in front of our intellect.
Excellent. Excellent. So this hadith, I'm going to leave it to this, as Sister Homa has clearly pointed. Now, what I will do, I will send all of the verb conjugation for each of these verbs so that I develop your verb conjugation ability. And also in exchange, what I would like from yourself is that if you could kindly write them out in your own handwriting and send me a voice note, please. Because by conjugating them, repeating them, you become much more fluent. If you're able to conjugate one verb, then you'll be able to conjugate any other verb on the same pattern itself. Would that be possible from everyone?
Yes.
Yes, inshallah.
Do you want us to
write the past and present? Yeah, just write the
do it ourselves and then repeat it on the voice. Okay.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So it is past, present, and passive.
So what I'll do, I'll do write the past, present, and yeah, if you can do the passive, because it will make easier for you to recognize the difference between the present and the passive as well. So it will be great. If it's going to be a bit too much, then what I will do, then just do the past, the present, and the passive. Don't do the past tense.
So can we just do the main 5, or we need to do all of them, Sheikh?
Yes, this is quite important because I want this to be really reinforced within yourselves. So that's the reason why. So I'll mention the ones in a sheet form, and it'll be clarified for you what you need to cover as well, inshallah.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's the time for namaz coming of Aghas and Ali had to go to open the masjid. So I will have to probably conclude the class here, and I'll continue from this point next week and onwards, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Once I finish all of the verb objects, these accusative case, then I'll do the verb pattern conjugation, different patterns. And then once I've done that, then it will continue back into the book as well, inshallah.
Inshallah.
غسل علي بسم الله دعاء الفرج.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
جزاك الله.
Thank you, Sheikh.